This is Chapter 7, Lesson 7, Solve and Write Two-Step Inequalities. So we just did the one-step inequalities, so this one shouldn't be much different. I'm going to do the odds. So let's look at number 1. 4x minus 3 is less than 9. Okay, we want to get all of our whole numbers together. So basically we're going to add or subtract first because we want to get the whole numbers together. So I need to get my negative 3 over to my 9. I need to cancel it on this side and move it to the other side. So if it's a negative 3, I want to add 3 to get 0. That cancels out. Add to both sides. Remember, I'm showing all this work. You need to show all of this work on your paper. Brings down 4x is less than 9, 12. Okay, now then, you have a one-step inequality. You need to get your variable by itself. Look at your variable, see what it's doing to this number. And you need to do the opposite. So if it's multiplying, we divide by 4, divide by 4, so x is less than 3. So remember, when you graph it, I'm going to find 3 on my number line. I'm going to circle it and then ask yourself, can x be 3? Can x be 3? It says x is less than 3, so it cannot be 3. So if x is less than 3, then you have to decide which way to shade it in. Do you do 2 or 4? 2 is less than 3, so you need to shade it in to the left. And again, the secret, if your variable is on your left-hand side, the arrow on your number line will always go in the direction of your inequality. But the variable has to be on the left-hand side. Number 3. Negative 2 plus 2x is greater than negative 16. Again, I want to get all of my whole numbers together. So you need to do the opposite. So if I have a negative 2 here, to cancel it out, I need to add 2. That cancels out. Whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other side. Bring down your 2x is greater than, and then your answer over here, you have negative 16 plus 2. You're going to subtract those and keep the sign of your highest number. It'll be a negative 14. Then you need to look at your variable, and you need to get x by itself. So your variable is multiplying 2 by 2. So you need to do the opposite, which is divide by 2. So x is greater than, what is negative 14 divided by 2? Your answer will be negative 7. You need to find that on your line, circle negative 7, and ask yourself, can x be negative 7? If it can't, leave it open. If it can, you need to color it in. And the arrow should go the direction that it is here, because x is greater than negative 7. Number 5. We have 7 is less than x over 2 plus 4. So again, I want to get my whole numbers together. So that means I'm going to add or subtract first. I'm going to move this positive 4 to this side. To cancel it out on this side, if I have a positive 4, I need to subtract 4. That cancels out. Do it to both sides. Bring your inequality down, and that leaves you with 3 positives. Okay, and then bring x over 2. Now then, find your variable. Ask what is it doing. It's being divided by 2. So we need to multiply by the reciprocal. That cancels out. Multiply by the reciprocal. Bring down your inequality, your x. So 2 times 3 is 6. So find 6 on your number line. Circle it. Ask yourself, can 6 be x? If it can, color it in. If it can't, then you need to draw the arrow on what it's going to be. Now remember, this, I would turn this around so it can read better. I would do x. X is greater than your answer, okay? Just so it reads better, and that way you'll have your variable on the left-hand side. So number 7. Negative 4 is less than equal to 4x plus 8. So again, get your whole numbers on the same side. I'm going to move 8 to the other side. And to cancel this positive 8, I need to subtract 8. That cancels out. Subtract 8. I'm going to bring down my 4x, keep my inequality, and I have 2 negatives. When you have 2 negatives, it becomes a larger negative because nothing cancels out. So you're going to have a negative 12. You're going to look at your variable. Ask what is it doing to 4? It's multiplying, so you need to divide by 4 on both sides. So negative 12 divided by 4, and your answer will be a negative 3. So graph it. I would circle 3 on your number line and ask yourself, can x be negative 3? And again, since you're going to be left with your x here, I would switch everything around. So x would be greater than, equal to your answer. Okay? Let's look at number 9. A rental company charges $15 plus $4 per hour to rent a bicycle. If Margie does not want to spend more than $27 for her rental, write and solve an inequality to determine how many hours she can rent the bicycle and not spend more than $27. Interpret the solution, which means answer the problem. Okay? Charges $14 per yard, and she has $40. They want to have at least 148. Okay? Oh, gosh. I read the wrong one. Woo! I'm underlining the wrong one. Hopefully I read the right one. I am so sorry, guys. Totally distracted. So number 9, a rental car company charges $15 plus $4 per hour. Okay, so we got 15 plus $4 per hour. Okay, I was going to do P, but we're going to go with H. If Margie does not want to spend more than $27 for her rental, write and solve the inequality to determine how many hours she can rent the bicycle and not spend more than $27. So we don't want to spend more than $27. So this is what we're going to spend. It needs to be less than or equal to $27. I do not want to spend more than $27. So this side has to be less than or equal to. Okay. So get your 15. You want to move it to the other side. So it's positive. You want to subtract 15 from 27. You're left with 4h is less than or equal to whatever your total is. And then you want to get h off of 4. So you would need to divide by 4 on both sides. And then you need to write a sentence to interpret the solution. So solve and interpret it. I would say Margie can rent a bicycle for up to how many hours? Write that sentence out. Okay, number 1. Matilda needs at least $112 to buy a new dress. She has already saved $40. She earns $9 an hour babysitting. Write and solve an inequality. Determine how many hours she will need to babysit to buy the dress. Interpret the solution. So again, interpret the solution means write a sentence at the end. And all of those have it. Okay. She wants at least $112. She can have more, but she has to have at least $112 to buy a new dress. She's already got $40. She already has $40. She earns $5 an hour babysitting. Remember, she can have more or equal to $112. This will tell you how many more hours she needs to babysit to get at least $112. So again, you're going to subtract your whole number to move it to the other side, and then you're going to divide by 9. And then you're going to interpret the solution. Like, she must babysit at least blank hours, and fill in your answer. Show all your work, please. Number 3. Manuel earns $400 per week plus 3% commission on everything he sells. Write and solve an inequality. Determine how much he must sell to have a weekly income of at least $700. He can have more. He can make more than $700, but he needs $700 at least. So he earns $400 plus 3% on commission. We're going to have to change this 3% to a decimal. Remember how to do that? Percent goes away, your decimal moves over. So it's going to be 0.303. And we need, I'm going to put a C here for commission. And that can be more than, it can be greater than or equal to 700. But he's got to make at least 700. So again, move all your whole numbers over first, and then get your variable by itself, and interpret the solution, which would be he must sell at least however many dollars you come up with. Number 5. Latrell has $8 to spend on postcards. He wants to buy one large postcard and some small ones. Write and solve an inequality to see how many small postcards he can purchase. He has $8 to spend. He wants to buy one large postcard and then some small ones. So the large postcard is $2. He wants to buy one large. But then he wants to buy some small ones. So I'm going to scratch out medium. We don't even need that. So So $2 plus $1.25 per postcard. Okay. He has $8 to spend. Can he spend more than $8? Nope. But he can spend $8. So there's your inequality. Move your 2 over, your whole number first, and then separate your variable from the number. So subtract 2 from 8, and then you're going to divide by 1.29 to get it P by itself, and you'll have your answer. And then you need to write a sentence that says something as the effect of he can buy at most blank small cards. So at most, how many small cards can he buy? Number 7. Corey has 16 cups of flour to make cookies. One batch of cookies takes 2.5 cups of flour. He must save 6 cups of flour for other baking. Write and solve an inequality. Determine how many batches of cookies he can make. Interpret the solution. So, each cookie batch takes 2.5 cups of flour. So, that's per batch. But he has to save the 6 cups for another baking project. So, he only has 16 cups total. So, can he use more than this? No. He has got to save the 6 cups. So how many batches total can he make that's less than or equal to 16? Okay, so again, move your whole numbers over. So you would subtract 6, and then you would divide by 2.5 to get it off of B. And then your sentence should say, he can make up to blank batches of cookies. All right, if you have any questions, ask them on Google Classroom or come in the morning.